My beloved child, when you begin to truly understand what it means to walk with me, you will realize that freedom is not the ability to live according to every desire of your heart, nor is it the power to control every circumstance that comes into your life. True freedom is when your soul is no longer ruled by fear, no longer bound by anxieties about tomorrow, and no longer held captive by the invisible chains of the past. It is the state of a heart that knows it belongs to me, is loved by me, guided by me, and kept by me. When you live in that awareness, the things that once made you uneasy will gradually lose their power over your life. You will no longer have to chase after the security of the world, because you have found the greatest security in my presence. I know there have been seasons when you longed for everything around you to be stable. You wanted clear answers, smooth paths, and plans without obstacles. But my beloved child, if everything were to remain the same forever, you would never see new depths in your faith. There are lessons that can only be learned through change. There is strength that can only be formed when you must step into what is unfamiliar. And there are doors that only open when you are courageous enough to leave the place where you are standing. Therefore, do not view the changes in your life as a sign that I have forgotten you. Many times, the very things that confuse you are the instruments I use to bring you closer to the purpose I have long appointed for you. Like a potter patiently reshaping the vessel in his hands, I am also shaping your life. There are parts within you that need to be softened. There are rough edges that need to be refined. There are limited thoughts that need to be replaced by my truth. That process is not always easy, but it always carries the love of the Creator. I do not reshape you to cause you pain. I reshape you so that you may become all that I have destined you to become. As it is written, we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, even the things you do not understand today. I can still use them to bring goodness to your soul. Remember Joseph, whom I led through paths no one could have expected, from the deep pit of betrayal to the years of slavery and imprisonment in a dark dungeon. Everything seemed to go against the promise. If seen only with human eyes, one would think his life was sliding into failure, but I was still working in the midst of what seemed like misfortune. Those very trials prepared Joseph for the position I had appointed for him. Without the difficult years, he would not have had the wisdom, humility, and endurance needed to fulfill his mission. The same is true for you. There are things I am building within you that only trials can form. My beloved child, do not look at difficulties as evidence of rejection. See them as spiritual classrooms I am using to expand your vision. There are things you will only understand when you look back on the road you have traveled. Today, you may feel as though you are walking through fog, but one day you will realize that every step was held within my guidance. I have never allowed a single tear to fall in vain. I have never allowed any pain to appear without purpose. Everything is working together to shape you into the person I desire you to become. What I desire from you is not perfection, but trust. Many people think they must understand everything before they can walk in peace. But my peace is not built upon complete understanding. Peace is built upon the knowledge that I am holding your future in my hands. That is why my word teaches, for we walk by faith, not by sight. Faith does not deny the existence of difficulties. Faith simply declares that difficulty is not the final voice. When you allow my truth to take deep root in your heart, a wonderful transformation will begin to take place. You will no longer look at trials through the same old eyes. The things that once frightened you will become opportunities for you to see my faithfulness. Closed doors will no longer drive you into despair, because you will know that I can still open better doors. Seasons of waiting will no longer feel like a burden, because you will understand that I am preparing something while you think everything is standing still. My beloved child, The awakening I bring is not meant to make you afraid of the future. I have not called you to walk in anxiety or tension. I have called you to walk in the understanding that your life has meaning. You did not appear in this world by accident. Before you cried your first cry, I knew you. Before you took your first steps on this journey, I had prepared good works for you to walk in. You may not yet see the whole picture, but I see it. You may not yet fully understand your purpose, but I understand it. What I need from you is to keep walking in trust. Therefore, my beloved child, do not let fear stop you. Do not let uncertainty cause you to lose your courage. Let faith guide your decisions. Let my truth illuminate the road ahead. Let my presence become the refuge of your soul. When you do this, you will discover that true freedom is not found in having every circumstance become favorable, but in having your heart remain steadfast in me no matter what circumstance comes. And in that place, you will find a peace that cannot be stolen, a hope that cannot be extinguished, and the strength to keep walking on the journey I lovingly prepared for you from the beginning. My beloved child, do not think that the journey you are walking is a lonely road that only you must travel. From the moment I called you out of the lands of doubt and fear, I had already prepared encounters your eyes had not yet seen and connections your heart had not yet fully recognized. There are people I will place beside you as companions in faith, not to live your life for you, nor to carry your responsibility in your place, but to support you at the right moment, encourage you when your heart grows weary, and remind you of my promises when you begin to forget them. Do not regard those encounters as coincidences. In the kingdom of heaven, there are doors opened by the arrangement of grace. There are brief conversations that are enough to change the direction of an entire life. There are people who appear only for a season, yet carry lessons you will remember for many years to come. Therefore, keep your heart open, but also keep your spirit alert. For among the countless voices of the world, not every piece of advice leads to life. There are paths that appear attractive, easy, and convenient. Yet in the end, they lead people away from the purpose I have prepared for them. There are promises that sound sweet but contain no truth. There are opportunities that glitter brightly yet bear no mark of peace. So do not judge everything by outward appearances. Learn to discern through the wisdom I give you. As it is written in Proverbs, there is a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way of death. I am not calling you to choose what is easiest. I am leading you toward what is right, and what is right often requires far more faith, patience, and courage than what is merely easy. My beloved child, there will be days when you feel your strength has been exhausted. There will be moments when you no longer wish to battle negative thoughts, no longer wish to explain yourself to others, and no longer wish to keep waiting for the things you have prayed for over such a long time. When those moments come, I do not ask you to appear strong. I do not need the masks of perfection. I simply want you to come close to me. Come as a child runs into the arms of a loving father after a long and weary day. Come with complete honesty, with tears if necessary, with questions if you have them, and with the weaknesses you have tried so hard to hide. For it is precisely in that weakness that my power is most fully revealed. As I said to Paul, my grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. I want you to know that even now there are things within your heart that I am quietly restoring. There are dreams you once abandoned because you believed they would never come to pass. There are visions you once received that have been covered over by years of disappointment. There are flames that once burned brightly within your soul, but gradually faded beneath the rains of doubt. Yet I am the God of restoration. I do not merely repair what has been broken, I make it new. I do not simply mend what has been torn apart, I create something even more beautiful from the very places that once lay in ruins. Remember Ezekiel when I brought him into the valley filled with dry bones. To human eyes, it was nothing but a place of death and hopelessness. But in my sight, it was a place where resurrection power would be revealed. And when my spirit breathed across that valley, the dry bones came to life. My child, what I am doing within your soul is much the same. The things you believe have died, I am still able to bring back to life, according to my will and in my perfect timing. My beloved child, never define yourself by what has happened to you. You are not the result of your failures. You are not the product of criticism. You are not the sum of the wounds life has left behind. You are the work of my hands. You are a song I am writing through grace. You are a story I am weaving with love and faithfulness. You may not see the entire picture today, but I do. You may not understand the reason for every trial, but I do, and I am using every piece, including the most painful ones, to create something far more beautiful than you can imagine. My child, there is something that pleases me, even more than outward achievements, and that is your faithfulness during seasons when no one is watching. There have been days when you continued to pray, though no answer had yet come. There have been days when you continued to worship, though your heart felt heavy. There have been days when you chose to love, even when that love was not returned in the way you hoped. I have seen it all. Not a single act born of faith escapes my notice. Not a single prayer falls to the ground without being remembered. Remember the 10 lepers who were healed. Only one returned to give thanks. What moved my heart was not merely the miracle they received, but the gratitude of the one who came back. In the same way, your faithfulness and gratitude during difficult seasons have become an offering that is pleasing to me. Therefore, I want you to prepare your heart, not to live in suspense or to anticipate spectacular things according to the world's expectations, but to open your soul to a deeper experience of my presence. I am drawing you closer. I am teaching you to see me in ordinary things. I am training your spiritual eyes to recognize my footsteps in the everyday circumstances of life. And as you walk more closely with me, you will discover that the greatest miracle is not what I do for you, but what I am transforming you into day by day. So, my beloved child, keep moving forward. Do not allow old disappointments to hold you back. Do not let negative voices cause you to doubt your worth. Do not let seasons of dryness make you forget that the river of life is still flowing from my throne. Walk with the courage of one who knows they are loved. Live with the peace of one who knows they are protected. Hope with the confidence of one who knows that the one who called them is faithful. And as you continue to walk in this way, you will see that what I am preparing for you is not merely a new chapter in life, but a deeper dimension of fellowship between you and me, where you will understand more clearly than ever that I have never forgotten you, never left you, and will always walk beside you until the end of the journey. My beloved child, be still in my presence for a moment, and allow your heart to settle from the noise of life. There are times in the journey of faith when I invite you to pause, not to give up, but to see more clearly what I am doing. Today is one of those moments. I want you to understand that life is not a series of random events. Every season has a purpose. Every door that opens or closes carries a lesson. And every transition I allow to take place brings with it an opportunity for you to grow stronger in faith. There are things in your life that have fulfilled their purpose. They were useful for a certain season. They helped you learn necessary lessons. They walked with you through a particular stretch of your journey. But not everything that belonged to yesterday is meant to be carried into tomorrow. A wise person is not someone who keeps everything, but someone who knows what should be kept and what should be placed back into my hands. Therefore, if you sense changes taking place around you, do not be quick to panic. Do not view every ending as a loss. Many times, What I am closing is simply preparation for what I am about to open. I know that human nature often seeks what is familiar, even when something no longer brings life. People still tend to cling to it because it feels safe. But my beloved child, familiarity is not always my guidance. There are places where you have remained for too long. There are old ways of thinking that have accompanied you for too many years. There are fears that have become habits. There are limitations you have accepted as part of who you are. But I am calling you out of those things, not because I want to take away something precious, but because I want to free you to receive something better. Remember Abraham when I called him to leave his homeland. I did not show him the entire journey from the beginning. I simply told him to go. His faith was not rooted in knowing every detail ahead of him, but in trusting the one who was leading the way. In the same manner, I am not asking you to understand everything I am doing. I am simply inviting you to take my hand and keep moving forward. For as it is written, the righteous shall live by faith. Faith is not seeing first and then believing. Faith is trusting even when your eyes cannot yet see. My beloved child, there are things within your heart that I am quietly purifying, not merely outward matters, but things hidden much deeper. Perhaps it is the anxiety that has clung to you for far too long. Perhaps it is old wounds that you still carry. Perhaps it is expectations that no longer align with the purpose I have for you. I am doing the work of a wise gardener. As Jesus said, the gardener prunes the branches so that the tree may bear more fruit. Pruning is not rejection. It is preparation for a greater season of fruitfulness. Do not be afraid of the things I am changing. You often think that security comes from everything remaining the same, but true security comes from being within my will. Even when circumstances change, I do not change. Even when the road ahead is unclear, I remain the one who guides the way. Even when familiar things are gone, my presence remains with you. That is why the psalmist wrote, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." Your source of peace is not found in stable circumstances, but in the one who holds those circumstances in his hands. My beloved child, I also want you to know that the new thing I am preparing is not merely about outward opportunities. The greatest new thing is what I am doing within your heart. I am renewing the way you think. I am healing the way you see yourself. I am replacing doubt with faith, fear with courage, and weariness with fresh hope. For if the inside of you does not change, even new opportunities on the outside cannot produce their full result. But when your soul is renewed, you will see every circumstance through different eyes. Remember the people of Israel when they stood before the Jordan River. Behind them was the wilderness of former years. Before them lay the promised land. Yet before they could step into the new, they had to be willing to leave the old behind. You are standing in a similar moment. I am inviting you to stop looking back at what has passed with regret. Be grateful for the lessons it left behind. But do not build a tent there. Do not live in chapters that have already closed. Let the past become your testimony, not the dwelling place of your soul. Therefore, my beloved child, open your heart to what I am doing. Release what I am asking you to lay down. Hold firmly to what I am placing in your hands. Walk with the peace of one who knows that their Father is leading the way. For I do not take away in order to make you poorer. I do not close doors in order to leave you with loss. I am preparing you for things that are more fitting for the eternal purpose I have established for your life. And one day, when you look back, you will realize that the very things you were afraid to release were the things preventing you from entering into my fullness. Then you will thank me not only for the doors I opened, but also for the doors I closed. You will understand that everything I do flows from love, and you will walk with a heart that is freer, lighter, and more mature. ready for the new season I am opening before you. My beloved child, when I look at your life today, I see things that even you yourself may not yet recognize. I see a transformation taking place within you, not loud, not dramatic, but deep and enduring. There was a time when you were easily carried away by waves of emotion, when circumstances could quickly determine your peace, and when the words of others could shake your sense of worth. But now, I see a different foundation within you. You no longer react to everything as you once did. You are learning to listen before responding. You are learning to seek the guidance of the Holy Spirit before making decisions. You no longer allow temporary fears to dictate the direction of your life. This is not a change produced by your own strength, but the quiet work I have been doing through the years as you faithfully remained in my presence. My beloved child, true maturity is not measured by how much you know, but by how much you become like me. There are people who accumulate knowledge while their hearts remain filled with unrest. There are people who speak often about faith, yet continue to be led by fear. But I am building within you a mature faith, a faith that does not depend on the emotions of today. Like a tree planted by streams of water, its roots do not remain on the surface but reach deep into the source of life. That is why when the winds blow, it continues to stand firm. When drought comes, its leaves remain green. I am leading you into that same depth. The things that once unsettled you no longer shake you so easily, because your foundation is being built upon the solid rock. I also want you to recognize that these inner changes will gradually reveal themselves outwardly. What I am doing within your heart cannot remain hidden forever. Others will begin to notice a peace they cannot explain. They will recognize wisdom in the words you speak. They will sense my presence through the way you live, through the way you love, and through the way you treat those who have wounded you. For the fruit of the Spirit is not something that can be manufactured. It is the natural result of a life that abides in me. My beloved child, I know that good things are beginning to emerge along your journey. There are doors opening that you once believed would remain closed forever. There are encounters bringing encouragement at just the right time. There are relationships being built upon sincerity rather than self-interest. There are ideas, vision, and dreams that once lay dormant within your heart but are now being awakened once again. Yet this time, they are no longer driven by impatience or the need to prove yourself. They are being guided by wisdom that comes from heaven. Remember Joseph. When he was young, he carried great dreams, but he was not yet mature enough to understand how I would bring them to pass. After many years of testing, when the promise finally became reality, Joseph was no longer the impulsive young man he once was. He had been transformed. He not only received a position of authority, but he also possessed the wisdom necessary to steward that position. In the same way, I am not concerned only with what you receive. I am concerned with the person you become when you receive it. Therefore, do not regard the first signs of fulfillment as the final destination. See them instead as evidence of my faithfulness. When you begin to see your prayers answered, continue to pray. When you begin to see blessings arrive, continue to walk in humility. When doors begin to open, continue seeking my face more than the gifts I place in your hands. For the most precious treasure is not what I give you, but the relationship between you and me. Just as the people of Israel once offered their first fruits to me, they did not do so because I needed their harvest. They did it to express gratitude and trust. They declared that the harvest belonged to me. They acknowledged that every good thing came from my hand. You must do the same. Offer me the first fruits of your heart. Give me gratitude before you bring new requests. Give me glory rather than keeping it for yourself. Let every success become an opportunity to exalt me rather than elevate yourself. My beloved child, There is a great difference between a person who is lifted up by the world and a person who is sent by me. The one honored by the world often seeks attention, but the one whom I send continually seeks my will. The one elevated by the world can easily forget where they came from, but the one touched by my hand will journey farther and farther while becoming increasingly aware that everything is grace. Look at Moses. Though I used him to accomplish mighty works, Scripture still describes him as the most humble man on the face of the earth, because he did not seek glory for himself. I was able to entrust him with great responsibilities. My beloved child, the time will come when others will see the transformation in your life and ask what enabled you to stand firm through difficult seasons. They will wonder why you still possess peace after experiencing deep wounds. They will want to know what kept you from collapsing under the weight of trials. And when that moment comes, your answer will not be a boast about your own abilities. Your answer will be a testimony of my faithfulness. You will tell them about the days when I upheld you in your weakness. You will tell them about the times I made a way where there seemed to be no way. You will tell them how I turned tears into strength and transformed pain into maturity. Therefore, my beloved child, do not be afraid of the good things I am bringing into your life. Do not think that you must somehow earn them before you can receive them. No one can purchase grace through personal effort. I give because I love. I sustain because I love. I restore because I love. If I have preserved you through seasons of lack, I will also teach you how to steward seasons of abundance. If I have been with you when your hands were empty, I will remain with you when I place greater things into your hands. So walk forward with a tender heart. Continue living with gratitude. Continue humbling yourself before me. Continue looking upward rather than looking inward at yourself. And remember that everything I give you carries a purpose greater than yourself. I do not merely desire to bless you. Through your life, I desire to touch many others with my love, my grace, and my everlasting faithfulness.